Hey, this is Gilgamesh again. I wanted to cover this movie, The Sadness. I know it came out in 2021. Here's the thing, it's not a zombie film. This is the mistake right here. Everybody gets this movie wrong. It's not a zombie movie, it is viral. It's the virus in the movie is called the Alvin virus, and what it does, if you've read Crossed comics, it's literally that brought to life. Basically, it brings out your most sadistic nature. How we know this? Right here. Dr. Alan Wong at the beginning, he's trying to warn the public about the virus, and nobody believes him because of what's happened with the COVID and everything, and so people think it's a hoax and stuff. And we start the movie with Kat and Jim, and they are living together, and Jim's going to take Kat to work. So he drops her off at the train, and then, oh yeah, while he's home, he talks to his neighbor who doesn't believe anything about the virus. He thinks it's all hoax. And they watch the news. He watches the news and hears Dr. Alan Long explain about the Alvin virus and that it can, what it'll do to people. And then Jim takes Kat to work, to a train station so that she can go to work. And so they're separated. He goes then, leaving his phone at home, they're charged up. Then he goes to I'd say, well, it's kind of like a small cafe. Here in America, we call it a cafe, but it's a restaurant. Well, actually, before that, he's looking outside at a roof, and there's an old woman. He speaks to her, and then she turns on. She's got blood, and he's like, "What the?" Kind of thinking, "What the hell?" And then he goes to this cafe or restaurant. Actually, it is a restaurant, but this is Taiwan, China. Yes, they speak Cantonese, and so he's in there when he's ordering something, and all of a sudden, the same old woman walks behind him. And you see something's fucked with her face. And suddenly she's smiling and she spits on this guy. I was disgusted. And then she takes this deep fryer that has fries in it and she pours on this guy's head and starts peeling his face. I'm not going to show you any of the video. This is a gruesome. Like, these people they're not zombies. They are infected. And the reason it's called The Sadness is in one scene, you see this tear come down this guy's face, and what the director explained, this is people knowing what's about to happen, and they can't stop themselves. So that's why it's called The Sadness. And it brings out your most depraved, like, in your brain, things that you would think of doing that you don't carry out. It's an amazing film. I mean, this is probably one of the best, and the thing is, it's very violent, but the violence fits what's going on in the movie. And then the guy that she spit on starts stabbing this other guy, like just stab him. And then Jim leaves, and all of a sudden the lady's coming after him, and she gets hit. And the guy in the car, he checks on him. He goes, he says to him, oh, and they know they do speak in the movie, so they're definitely not zombies. And he says, well, she stepped in the road, and he's smiling. They all have this sadistic smile. They do the most depraved things to each other. And Kat's on this subway train, and the businessman, by the way, the guy playing the businessman, this man right here, I heard behind the scenes he made everyone laugh their ass off, Wang, and he originally wanted to be the president of Taiwan, but the director said he wanted him to play this businessman who's kind of, he sees Kat sit next to her, and he's being polite at first, and she's reading a book, and then she kind of tells him, that she just doesn't want it. She's not interested. Doesn't tell him that she has a boyfriend, and he misinterprets this because it's obvious he's a lonely businessman. He touches her and she tells him, frankly, just fuck off. Sorry, but she kind of does tell him to, that she's not interested. He doesn't take it and gets pissed off at her. Instead of apologizing, he's kind of a jerk. But then all of a sudden you see this guy with glasses and tear comes down, and then all of a sudden he starts stabbing people. Glasses come off, he's smiling. His eyes are all dark. Yeah, they go dark and they're smiling as he's stabbing people. And the fat Lee, Molly gets on the train sitting next to Kat between her and they and all of a sudden, and this is messed up. We see Molly and her some umbrella stabs her in the eye, and we realize the businessman is fucking infected, and I can't, fuck, he's funny as shit. He stabs her in the eye with the umbrella. Oh my god, it's so fucked up. That will come back in the movie, by the way. There's a scene later that is so much worse than getting stabbed in the eye by this man. He basically calls them sluts and says he's gonna fuck the bitch. Oh yeah, they bring out your dark impulses. We switch back to Jim. He's trying to, and at one point he goes home and his neighbor shows up infecting, cuts his middle two fingers off. And then Jim is, he's basically on his moped, scooter. He's fleeing a bunch of people, and then he sees these guys, they're beating the shit out of this guy. He's telling him to stop at first. Then he chases him off. And he goes to untie the guy, and then the guy goes, "Why did you stop him? I was about to bust my load." It's like, ooh. He gets up and they attack Jim, and he runs away. And it's like, oh, God, this thing gets worse as it goes on. I mean, it gets really fucked up. Very violent, very good. And eventually, Kat and Molly, they get, they're trying to escape the businessman who wants to literally rape the shit out of Kat. I'm not joking. He's like, "Oh, you sluts, I'm going to have fun with you." And give it to the actor, Wang. He's really good at playing a psychopath. And, oh my God, this movie's like one of my favorite movies. And like I said, it's not a zombie film. So, and Fat Boy here, Kevin, I guess that's his name, he starts to lock the gate on them, and he sees they need help. And Kat's, of course, carrying Molly because she keeps falling down. And they eventually crawl out. Molly punches Kevin in the nose. And they get to the hospital, and, of course, they're going to take care of Molly's eye and put some gauze on it. She's holding like this. And basically, they check on Kevin, and he's going, and his nose not broken. Your nose not broken. Then the president comes on the air, and this top-ranking military guy starts to weirdly ask the president, talks and tries to be political, and he sounds like fucking a clown. Kind of like, most political, politicians. The same military gets, and all of a sudden he starts to smile. You see a tear come down, and he fucking kills the president with a grenade. Yep. And himself. Yeah. And, these people know what they're doing. They just can't stop themselves. Oh, God. The businessman shows up with an axe, and they don't directly show, but he comes upon Molly in a wheelchair, and she's got an IV, and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna have fun with you," and he takes off the eye band, and he's taking his, you don't actually see it, you just hear she's screaming, and it's implied that he's fucking her, fucking her hole that he made when he took her eye out. Yeah. She's infected, by the way. She becomes infected because I guess he comes in her. We don't see all that. We just see him making the motion. And that's a smart thing by the director, not to show him actually eye fucking her. Yeah. And at one point, Kat he has the guy's phone, and she goes upstairs, and she's, she contacts Jim, and her boyfriend, who's been, he's got this sort of, I'm not sure what it is. It's some type of, for cutting things, kind of like a spade. No, kind of like a sickle, but it's more like thick. And he looks in the water, and he starts having which means he's infected. He has a tear, but he doesn't show completely that he's infected. And then she tell him where she is, and then she ends up basically going upstairs, and you probably have seen this. If you haven't, she has she fucks up the businessman before he goes, "You're just like me. You're a monster. You like to kill." And she fucks him up with a fire extinguisher. It's violent, I said. and then this Dr. Alan Wong, he finds her covered, she's covered in blood and brings her inside, handcuffs her, makes her take off her clothes, clean herself off to get all the blood off. And, this guy really is kind of a messed up individual. He tells her at the beginning, and it comes back. He says, do you have any kids? She goes, no, you're lucky. There, I'm not going to give away what happens there. In the movie is, well, we find out, I'm not going to give the rest, but the ending is left somewhat, as the director said, for interpretation. But it's, if you got to remember, the infected don't scream. Only those who are not, because you hear what happens, you don't see it. And it's implied that Kat may actually not be infected. She may actually have survived, still been, because she screams. The infected don't scream. I'm not going to say exactly. This is a movie, you haven't seen it. Go. It's on Shudder, or if you have AMC Plus, see it there. This is probably one of the best movies about infection that shows what, this type of shit could happen. The government could create a virus like that drives everybody out of their mind. Look at the way they're acting right now. They're getting you to hate each other. So, yeah. Shit like this. So this movie is just fucking gory, but it fits, and it is really funny. It's a Canadian director who made this movie, and he does an amazing job with it. I mean, what's the director's name? Let me look up his name. Yeah, it's director is Rob Jabaz. Yeah, it says traditional, which is Cantonese, and yeah. And this movie, it was a box office. I don't know how much it cost. It's Mandarin. It says Taiwan Hokkien, which it's probably because they speak Cantonese, and Mandarin's the other language of China. They have two languages, Cantonese and Mandarin. A lot of the films this is just essentially what they're trying to say is it's Cantonese, because most of the time it's Cantonese or Mandarin. I don't know if this is a real language. It probably just is Cantonese, but they don't want to make it because, of it being part of China. But yeah, go watch this movie. You haven't seen it? It's amazing. My God, I love this movie. So yeah, I've watched it several times. I'd probably get the DVD at some point. But yeah, it's worth it. So I will leave it at that. This is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.